What is a MinION? Chances are you likely think of these little guys when I say that word, MinION. Yet, it means something much more. It is a word that can save lives. I spent my entire summer last year doing something other than taking a cruise or flying to some exotic location. I spent my entire summer trying to save the life of somebody in need. I spent 40 hours a week, 400 hours in total, actually, trying to optimize a MinION. It isn't really easy as you would think, to fix up $1,000 DNA sequencer and determine the best way it works. It also wasn't easy as a lab novice to go from high school lab skills to essentially military grade techniques utilized by the genomics team in areas such as the Congo. Yeah, we aren't kidding over here at USAMRID, and although it took a lot of time and effort, it actually worked. Yes, I was given the chance to give a 10-minute talk at the end of my internship to the other scientists and contractors there, and they all asked me valid questions on how I could carry on this research and also the applications of my research as well. I told them, as I am telling you now, that the optimization of the MinION is perhaps the most important and pressing need in today's biological field of research. This is because the MinION, which you can literally hold in your hands, can actually sequence DNA pretty well, and this goes for dangerous vermin like bacteria and viruses that aren't too healthy to interact with, to say the least. Instead of going all the way back to the States or somewhere with a developed lab to sequence DNA, scientists can just hook up the MinION to a computer and sequence it in real time. It's fast, relatively cheap, and an all around improvement over its bulkier contenders. I truly became interested in the cutting edge of bioengineering and genomic research after I read several books on the topic of human body regeneration and elimination of disease. In one of these books, Mr. Mikio Kaku talked about how it would be possible using gene therapy and such that the human body could increase its lifespan by even the mid mark of this century. This seemed as if it were the crux of all human desire to live forever, to transcend the biological barriers that imprisoned us. As I believe, genomic research is perhaps humanity's most powerful force against the wrath of nature. It basically has the capability to wipe out history's most feared pathogens and plagues, and it's constantly shifting, evolving, flexing, in order to combat threats that emerge every single day. Genomic and bioengineering research, perhaps more so than any other form of aid, can be transferred to the masses, billions of humans at once. It is a humanitarian mission that I seek to emulate, and the science behind that pursuit of protecting the world's populace that inspires me to continue in this field. So we find medicines and cures to stave off disease, prescriptions to rejuvenate and replenish our bodies, new methods to replace lost limbs and appendages, all in the pursuit of achieving a body impervious to all biological threats. In short, this century may see humanity fulfilling the crux of all medical research. As I already said, a body that can build itself after any injury. So overall, it's perhaps two factors that combine to attract me to this career and this field, the newness of it, along with the ability to help others through this medium. I always sought to help, to nourish, to care, to give aid when it's most needed, in places where it is most lacking. By working on the project, I discovered as much about the intricacies of DNA sequencing as I did about myself. I discovered that I yearned to adhere to a rigorous work standard, all in the pursuit of a better future for my fellow humans yet to be and living today. I also gained numerous skills and valuable insights into how a professional lab works. Undeniably, I also discovered the dedication of men and women, including the devoted Major Matthew Riley. He served as my mentor over those 10 fateful weeks. Never did Major Matthew Riley refuse to show a lab technique or discuss technical terms for fear of beguiling his young subject. He treated me as an equal, as a contender in the future we were all building, as a valid participant and innovator in the field of DNA sequencing. My work is perhaps a small portion of the giant pool of genomic research growing exponentially and miraculously by the day, yet remains an integral portion, surely as the lowliest stone supports the greatest house. For science is built on research, on information gathered by all who undertake in his noble goals of pursuing knowledge. Through my work, perhaps I did not bring happiness to millions or uplift thousands from dire poverty, perhaps out in some unknown country or place that I will never venture into or see. One scientist has had the fortune of saving a single life due to the optimization protocol I developed. Perhaps one more cure or one more diagnosis can be made a bit faster due to the steps I proposed. Perhaps my 400 hours of toil and labor will bear some fruit, and perhaps it will go unrecognized except for the small genomic research community. But I do like to think that I changed someone's life in a special way, in a small way, at a time when they most needed it, in a place where they least expected it. That feeling of joy I treasure above all my awards. Thank you.